Hey y'all, it's Liv. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I've posted a video. Like a very long while. However, we're getting back into it for 2023. Today, I thought I would just sit down and give y'all my makeup routine. No one asked for this in the comments of my last video because it was a completely different subject. But a lot of my friends always ask me, oh, what's your base routine? What's this? What's that? Like, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I feel like I've kind of like perfected my base routine over the course of, how long have I been doing my own makeup? Since 8th grade? Yeah, 8th grade, just about. Not like a makeup artist where like I play with a bunch of colors and do different designs and stuff. I just got better at putting on makeup. That was literally the only thing that happened. But I'm doing it because why not, you know? Yeah, so that's what we're doing today. If you are excited, like the video, subscribe, comment, all of that stuff. But yeah, let's just get into it.
I'll share my world with you. If you're gonna waste your time, then waste your time with me.
So I've already washed my face. It's like pretty clean. I've washed my face, did my skincare and all that stuff. This is my second time doing that because I wanted to make sure my face wasn't like all crazy because I had makeup on previously for another event. So we're gonna start with primer. I use the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. It's so good. Y'all do not understand. And like at first I thought I had to like put it directly on my face and then rub it in. And it would be like really sticky, but you gotta warm it up in your hands first. So literally what I just do is this, and then I just rub it all over my face. Okay, so after primer, this is a new addition to my makeup routine that I wasn't doing before. But can it focus? Okay, yeah, I got the e.l.f. Charlotte Tilbury dupe. This is a better match to my skin tone than like my actual foundation or skin tint. And it's actually like mind-boggling to me. Like, look at, it's basically my skin. Like, but I don't use it by itself. I know there's people who probably do, but I don't personally. I don't feel like it's necessary. But I'm just gonna blend that out with a brush. Okay, so you can see that my face is just like shinier now. You can kind of see like the difference between like my under eyes and the rest of my skin, but that's how it always is. So I go over that with the Fenty, is it gonna focus? Yeah, with the Fenty, there we go, the Fenty Beauty skin tint. Okay, y'all know this is kind of out of order, but I actually do my brows next. I use the NYX brow glue. I actually do brows next because I don't like when my brows are too messy. So I'm gonna spray my face. You're gonna see me spray my face a lot. That is how I get not only do I get my base to look good, but this is how I get my base to stay. Get my base to stay by spraying setting spray in between like every 2 to 3 steps. So I do the Monet McMichael thing, shout out to her, where I take like the flat part of a tweezer or just like a flat little spatula and I smooth them down. And then I take my NYX, dang, it really cannot focus, my NYX Fill and Fluff brow pencil, and then I kind of just like go over it, and then I like kind of draw a tail, but like not really because my brows are kind of thick, but I like a more defined tail, as you can see. But I kind of just like fill it in. so I can get some of that color back because they look great when I put the glue on. So I'm just gonna put some in my brows like this. Okay, now it's time for the fun part, which is concealer. My holy grail right now, and since I like really started getting back into makeup, has been the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. Staple, a freaking staple. So first I go with something that's a little bit closer to my skin tone. It's dark 180N. So I go in with that, and I do the little like concealer lifting thing where you put a triangle in the inner corner and then you like fan it out on the outside. While I let this sit, and I'm going to do my contour and my blush. So for contour, I use the concealer again, but in the shade Deep Dark 205N. And I just do like a few dots on my face, and then I do 2 lines down my nose and a little bit over the bridge of my nose, not the bridge, the bulb of my nose, and then I put the remainder on my forehead. So it looks a little crazy, but whatever. I have this EcoTools brush and it's detachable, so this is the part that I use for powder blush, and then it has a smaller, more dense one that I use for my liquid contour. So I'm just gonna blend it out. Then I go in with my NYX Sweet Cheeks Soft Cheek Tint, but I like pack that stuff on because it's like a really good base for my powder blush to go on top of. And again, like I said, it's only really a tint, so it doesn't have too much pigment. That's why I'm scared to get the Rare Beauty blush, because everyone says it's so pigmented, and I usually go over top of my liquid blush with a powder blush because I like it that way. So like I don't want to use anything too pigmented. Like, you see how very like lightly rosy it is versus like over the top. And you're probably wondering why I haven't blended out my nose contour. We're gonna get to that. I'm gonna blend out my concealer. I use a brush and then I go back over it with a beauty blender. Okay, so this is the start of our base. We're gonna add a lighter, even lighter color. This is dark 170N. We're gonna add this in the very inner corner of my eye. Like very tiny little triangle like this. And this is where the setting powder comes back in. I told you guys I'm going to use a crap ton of this setting powder, okay? Just spray my whole face with setting powder again, and we're gonna let the concealer sit while we blend out our nose contour. And then we're still waiting for the concealer to settle a little bit. So we're gonna take that same shade of concealer that we just put in the very inner corners of our eyes, and we're going to carve the bottom of my brows out. Part of me sometimes wants to shave like the tail off my brows and do like the straight brow look, but I just don't think it would fit me. But like you don't know until you try. But it's like I'm trying to do a lot of crazy stuff for my 18th birthday next month, and I don't think shaving the tail of my brows should be one of those crazy things that I do. Personally, I just don't think it's gonna be a fun, fresh, and funky look. I think it's gonna look absolutely insane. So maybe not now, maybe later on when I'm like experimenting more with stuff. Okay, I think my concealer is set a little bit better, so we're just gonna blend the inside and keep it in the corner. We're not expanding it out to the rest of the under eye. It's literally only gonna be the very inner corners and like maybe the sides of the nose, but it's not gonna be any further back than that. So that's what you look like this. It's a little bit more centered towards the nose, and the nose contour pops out a little bit more with having that bright contrast. I don't think I need to blend out my nose contour anymore, so we're going to move on to powder products. This is when I like to switch out my brush yet again. And we're gonna take the Milani blush in Wild Rose. I love corally blushes no matter what time of year it is, especially in the summer, but more pink tones look crazy on my skin, so we go for coral all year round. So just like adding like slightly more color back to it and setting it in place so it looks a little more matte and not as shiny. And I do this before setting my under eye, so that way I don't have to reapply my blush. Now we are going to take my Fit Me setting powder. I'm pretty sure this is 30. I use 30 and 35. I only use 35 on like very light makeup days where I want it to be more like my skin tone, but for a brightening one I use 30 because it's kind of like a banana powder on my skin. But because I feel like banana powder might be too bright. I like, this is like a subtle version of that. And I actually go over my setting powder again with a like very, not even damp, I would say very slightly wet beauty blender and press it more in. And that is the base all complete. Yeah, that's really all I do for my base. And that's like the main part of my makeup routine, because after that I'm not really doing much else. So I'm going to come back when I'm about to do my lips. So this is Liv editing, and I had friends in my room while I was doing the rest of this, so I have to kind of voice over what I was doing. So right now I'm putting on my lip liner. It's a black lip liner from NYX, and I'm just going over my lips and pressing them together. I press them together so much during this. I look like I literally press it. I'm gonna put a counter, like I'm gonna count how many times I do this. This is crazy. Then I take the MAC lipstick in the shade, I think it's something truffle. I'll probably put it on the screen. And then I take a NYX butter gloss. I also don't know what shade it is. I'll put it on the screen, but it's pink. And I do that, and I press my lips together so many freaking times. And then I go over with the Fenty clear gloss. I think it's in the shade like glass something, glass slipper or something like that. I'll put it on the screen. But yeah, that's me when I finished. All done, looking beautiful. But this is a final look. I hope you guys enjoyed my makeup routine. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.